Welcome to my kitchen. One of the excuses that I hear most often about not meal planning or meal prepping, and honestly, it's the excuse that I give myself most of the time too, is not having enough time. Yep, if you have to carve out hours in your already busy schedule to meal prep and meal plan, it's not gonna happen most of the time. In this video, I'm going to show you that you only need 1 hour and you're going to completely transform the flow of your week, and it's going to set yourself up for success in the kitchen. By meal planning and taking just 15 minutes to think about your schedule and the meals that make sense for your family for this coming week, you're already so far ahead. So we're gonna take the groceries that you bought based on that meal plan, and we're gonna set you up for success even more. Not only will this give you a big boost in meal prepping, but it's also going to help you stop throwing out so much produce. So I created this PDF. You can print it up, you can save it to your phone, you can put it in your recipe binder, whatever's gonna work for you. But you can use this and go through these 5 things. And if you do this, it's gonna completely transform your week. I promise it's gonna be so helpful for you. So let's go through it together, and then I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do this week. So first of all, breakfast. Now, if your kids eat breakfast at school, if you get breakfast at work, then you can just check this off and you don't have to do anything. That's taken care of. If you do have to think about breakfast for your family, then at least have the ingredients that you need on hand, or think of some things that you can prep ahead to make life easier for you in the mornings. So here are some examples of things you can do. If you like eggs, you can do lots of different things with eggs, and then all you have to do is reheat it in the morning. For example, egg bites or egg muffins, you can make a big batch, bake them all at once, and then all you have to do is take it out in the morning, reheat it, and it's ready to go. You can also make breakfast burritos. We love those in our family. So make a big batch as well, and you can make them, put them in your refrigerator, reheat in the morning, or even put them in your freezer. A few other breakfast options that I like to prep ahead is oatmeal. So you can either cook the oatmeal, make a big batch, and then you just have to reheat it, or you can make the overnight oats, the cold variety, and then add whatever kind of other ingredients you like to add to it. You can also make yogurt, either make it yourself or just buy the store-bought yogurt, and you can assemble and make like yogurt parfaits if you want to, make some granola to put on top, some berries or something like that, or even make granola bars. So all of those things you can make ahead, and then it'll make mornings so much easier. Now I'm giving you lots of different ideas, but you don't have to do all of them. In fact, I usually only do 1 or 2, and that's it. We'll eat the same thing multiple times for breakfast, or we'll just do something super easy on one of the other mornings. So this week, I'm going to make English muffin breakfast sandwiches. I have everything ready to start assembling my English muffin breakfast sandwiches. And I make lots of different varieties of breakfast sandwiches. This is such a great option for something that's ready to go and all you have to do is reheat it. So today I'm using English muffins, but I often use just any kind of bread, bagels, croissants, or biscuits. Anything will work. So I already toasted the English muffins and buttered them. I think it tastes so much better if you do that, but you don't have to if you don't want to, however you prefer. And then I'm also using ham and cheese. Instead of the ham and cheese, you can use bacon or sausage, or just leave the meat off if you prefer. And then other options are some roasted red peppers, spinach, sauteed mushrooms, so good. And what I like to do often is to add avocados or tomatoes, but those, obviously you can't prep ahead. So I'll add those right before we serve them. Today I just pan fried the eggs with some salt and pepper. Other times I'll scramble the eggs and make like a thick puffy omelet, and then I'll cut out circles the size of the English muffins. So both are delicious options. So the only other thing I have here is some parchment paper that we're gonna use to wrap up the sandwiches in, and a storage container to keep them in my refrigerator. All right, let's make them. I just put the ham on one side, the cheese on the other, put the egg in the middle, and that's it. It's pretty simple, obviously. And wrap it up in the parchment. I'm gonna keep these sandwiches in the refrigerator, and in the morning, all we do is take out however many we're gonna have, and then I reheat them in the air fryer or the oven. It takes just a few minutes, depends on your air fryer, honestly, and your oven, and also how thick the sandwiches are. So the thicker they are, the more time it's gonna take to reheat them. It is such a time saver to have these in my refrigerator. The next thing on the list is fresh produce. I love this part of meal prepping because it helps you use up the things that you buy and it makes it convenient. When it's not convenient, that's when things go to die in your refrigerator. If you're not gonna cut up the lettuce, if you're not going to wash your herbs, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna wash the herbs. That's one thing I do every single week. If I don't, 100%, I'm gonna throw some of it away because it's going to wilt and I'm not gonna use the herbs that often, because if I know that I have to wash the herbs, if they're gonna be sopping wet, they're gonna be harder to chop. But if they're already washed, they're easy to chop, I'm much more likely to use them throughout the week. So if it makes it convenient, then we're gonna use up that produce. I love using fresh herbs in my recipes, so this is something I do every week. I'm just gonna wash it, store it in some paper towels. They're gonna stay fresh for a long time that way, and I'm gonna be able to use them in lots of my recipes throughout the week. We always have some sort of salad to go with our dinners, so it really helps if I can prep some of it ahead of time. And especially for lunches, if we're having salads for lunches, I just love when I have some of the components already ready to go. Obviously, I'm not gonna prep those ahead of time because tomatoes, cucumbers, avocados are all gonna wilt, get brown. I do those right before I'm serving them. The best way to use up your produce is to get it ready. And this usually doesn't take that long, actually. And if you have more time, then you can prep your veggies even more. You can cut up your broccoli, you can grate some carrots and all of that. But you don't have to do that if you don't have that much time. At least take the time to wash your strawberries, cut up your mangoes, and wash your herbs. You can also wash your lettuce if you're gonna make salads that week. Look at the things that you bought for your meals or your snacks. Think of the ways that you can prep that produce so that it makes it easier for you to either cook with it or to eat it right away. This part is going to look different every week based on what you're cooking and also what's in season. So just prep your produce and I promise you're gonna throw out so much less food. We go through a lot of fruit in our family, so this is one thing I like to do every week, just depending on what's in season, what looks good in the store. So today I'm going to peel some mangoes, chop them up, and make kind of like a fruit salad with oranges, mangoes, and apples. And I'm gonna have that in my refrigerator, and this recipe for fruit salad is going to keep your fruit salad staying fresh in the refrigerator for at least 5 days or up to a week. And it's so convenient to make a big batch, and then I can just scoop it out in the morning for my kids for their breakfast or just to have it as a snack. There's lots of nutrients in here and it's really delicious. You can use lots of different fruit and make lots of variations of this fruit salad, and this is awesome. If you're gonna chop up some strawberries and raspberries and make a fruit salad, you gotta eat that right away. It's gonna wilt and it's not going to last. But if you use oranges and mangoes and apples or pineapple, peaches and things like that, it's gonna stay fresh for a long time, which makes sense to meal prep it because it's going to pay off. The work of chopping and prepping is going to be great. Now, other weeks, I'll just wash some grapes or I'll just prep my strawberries. And that way I have that produce, and especially for fruit, because it goes bad so fast. If I take the time to cut it up, it's gonna be a healthy, convenient snack that's ready to go, and we're gonna eat it up within the first few days. The fruit salad is all done. Look at how pretty and sunshiny it looks. Sometimes I'll add blueberries here or pineapple. Like I said, I mix this up depending on what is in season. And this didn't even take me that long to cut up, and it's gonna be great because I can just take it out of the refrigerator and my kids will love it. My husband and I will enjoy it. And I've already given some to my kids as a snack as I'm cutting it up. So I'll have this in a storage container in my refrigerator, and the dressing in here is gonna keep everything nice and fresh all week. I think I'll set some aside for the kids to enjoy another snack a little bit later. I'll just fill up this bowl, and that is gonna be a delicious, nutritious snack or breakfast option. There, the rest I'll set aside for my boys to enjoy right now as I'm finishing up the rest of the meal prepping. The next thing on the list to set your week up for success is to think about lunches. Now that's another thing, just like breakfast, if you work outside the home, if your kids eat lunch at school, if you do not pack lunches, that's another check mark. You don't have to think about it. For the majority of people though, we either eat lunch at home or we're packing lunch boxes for ourselves, our spouses, or our kids. Or maybe your kids are already packing their own lunches and you just need to make sure that you buy the things that they need to pack those lunches. For our family, because I work from home and my kids are homeschooled, we do eat lunch at home every day. So one of the things I always like to do every week is to make soup at least once a week. And I make enough so that we can eat it several times that week. And that is just such an easy option for me to reheat something really quickly. We also eat leftovers a lot of times. So if I'm making pasta for dinner or rice, I'll always make sure to make extra so that we have something easy for lunch the next day. I also like to think of a few really quick and easy options that I can make for lunch, like salads, wraps, sandwiches, and other things that don't take a lot of my time, but I can either prep it or I can have it on hand so that either my kids are gonna make the lunch or I can make it really quickly. Make-ahead salads are great for this, so either you can prep all of the ingredients like the produce that we talked about earlier, prepping your lettuce, maybe roasting some beets or some butternut squash or whatever you like, having some tomatoes and cucumbers on hand. This week I'm going to make a salad dressing so that we can use it for several different salad options this week, and then I'm also gonna put it into smoothies. And I'm also gonna make a bigger batch of salad dressing because I'm gonna use it as a marinade. We'll get to the marinade in a minute. First, let's talk about the next thing on the list, and that is some grains or easy sides. So this is awesome because it's going to help you out throughout the week in many different ways, and there's so many things you can do. You can either do rice, make a batch of rice, and then you can use it multiple ways throughout the week. You can have it as an easy side for lunch. You can have it as a side for dinner. You can add it to different recipes. I also like to do this with buckwheat, quinoa. You can cook some potatoes and use those for breakfast potatoes, saute them, add a little herbs, and it'll make your dinner really quick and easy. So those are some of the things that you can do to prep those sides, and it's going to cut your prep time and your time in the kitchen by a lot. Even though this is something so easy, but if you take the time while you're already in the kitchen prepping things, it's not going to take you that much time, but it's going to be a big help. You can either prep those ingredients like I talked about with the fresh produce, or you can even cook it. So either steam it, boil it, roast it. I love roasting a big sheet pan of vegetables, and I can switch it up throughout the year depending on what's in season. And that way it's gonna be a really easy either lunch or a side dish for one of our dinners. The side dish that I'm gonna prep this week are these cute little golden potatoes. So I'm just gonna put them in a pot filled with water and cook them until they're tender all the way through. Now you could put these in the Instant Pot, you can roast them in the oven. I like to boil them because it gives me more options than roasting them. So I can saute them in some butter or olive oil later this week, add some herbs, and I can also cut it up and make a potato salad. and cut them up for breakfast potatoes. Like I said, lots of different options for these. I'm gonna serve these for dinner tonight along with the grilled chicken. And then the rest of it, like I said, we'll be able to use for easy lunches and breakfast throughout the week. I like to get these going in the beginning so they can cook while I'm doing the rest of the meal prepping. The last thing on the list is to think of some protein options. So you can either prep it, marinate it, or even cook it all the way through. And that way you can have some really great, easy, healthy options on hand for your family to use either for lunches, to put in other recipes, or to make it for dinner. Prepping meat is one of the most time-consuming parts of cooking. So if you can prep some of it ahead of time, that's a big win. You can either prep it and marinate it or season it and just have it ready to go. You can put it in your freezer, or you can even cook it. You can roast a whole chicken or just roast some chicken breasts or chicken thighs and then use them throughout the week. Make it for dinner, make extra so that you can use it for lunches or to use in other recipes, which is awesome. And you can also do this with a pot roast, make a big pot roast, use some of that meat for other recipes later that week. So if you just think ahead and plan around what you're already doing, you can save yourself a lot of time that way and make the most use of the ingredients that you bought. If you're already taking out the ingredients, if you're already putting in the work, it doesn't take that much more time to make extra. This is how I build up my stock of freezer meals most of the time, not by taking hours and hours to just do a bunch of freezer cooking, but just by making a little bit extra when I'm already making something that freezes really well. So today I'm gonna marinate some chicken. I bought a bulk package of chicken thighs and I'm gonna marinate those. And I also bought a package of chicken breasts. I'm gonna marinate those as well. Part of the chicken we're going to grill and have for dinner tonight, and then we're gonna use it for easy lunches throughout the week, and I can add it to different recipes throughout the week. And then part of it I'm gonna freeze, so that way sometime down the road, it's gonna be an easy meal that I just pull out of my freezer. It's gonna be so flavorful, so delicious, and I just have to pull it out and it's ready to go. This may sound a little bit overwhelming and like it's gonna take so much time, but I promise you it doesn't. If you just do one or two from each category, you're gonna be set up so well and it's not gonna take a lot of time at all. Lastly, I'm gonna make a salad dressing, and I'm gonna make a big batch so we can use part of it for salad this week, and then I'm gonna use the other part of it as a marinade for the chicken, which is an awesome tip for you guys. Did you know that salad dressings make the most amazing marinades? So if you don't wanna make your own salad dressing, just use your favorite store-bought dressing. Italian dressing is perfect, and just squirt some on your chicken breasts, chicken thighs, chicken drumsticks, mix it up together, and it makes a really awesome marinade. I love using salad dressing as a marinade because it has the oil in there, the vinegar, so all of those flavors are gonna be amazing. You can even use it to marinate kebabs or steak, so use your imagination, use lots of different dressings that you like, and you can switch up the flavors in multiple ways. You can use all of the salad dressings that you already enjoy on your salads and use it as a marinade. Very quick and easy. It just takes 5 minutes to mix everything together. So first I'm going to season the chicken. I'm gonna add all these herbs and spices, salt and pepper, and then I'm gonna pour this dressing over. I'm also gonna add a little more fresh garlic. You can either cook this the same day or put it in your refrigerator for a few days and cook it later, or even freeze it for a few months. Since I already have all of these ingredients on hand and I already washed all of my cilantro, I'm going to make a cilantro lime marinade because it uses a lot of these same ingredients, and I'm gonna marinate some chicken, so I'm gonna have two different flavor options for the chicken. Cilantro lime marinade is one of our favorites. I make it all the time. You can use it on seafood, on poultry. It's incredible. So much flavor in this thing, and it's so easy to put together. I'm using it on chicken breast this time. I cut it up into smaller pieces, And I'm gonna use this as a freezer meal. So I'm gonna save this, put it in my freezer, and I'm gonna use this later on when I need a quick dinner option. Let's do an overview of all the things that I prepped today. So we have the English muffin breakfast sandwiches, the fruit salad, the spinach I didn't do much with it, just put a paper towel in there to make sure it stays fresh as long as possible, and it's ready to be used in salads and smoothies. I can put it in scrambled eggs. Then I washed my fresh herbs. I have cilantro and parsley in here. That'll also keep them fresh for much longer. And then we have our salad dressing. And then the salad dressing I also use to marinate the chicken, which we're having for dinner. And this is the part we're gonna store in the refrigerator, and I'll cut it up and add it to pasta and rice and all kinds of things throughout the week. I can also make chicken quesadillas out of this. And then over here, we have the cooked potatoes. I can also saute those in some butter, use that as a side dish for dinner, or pan fry them and use it as a potato hash for breakfast, or I can also make potato salad with it. So lots of options for that. And lastly, I have the cilantro lime chicken. I also peeled up some garlic, so when I need to use garlic, it's ready to go. I was already doing it anyway for the salad dressing and the marinade, so might as well make some extra. This did not take me long at all, and look at all of the things I was able to do in such a short amount of time. This is gonna save me so much time and mental energy that I don't have to wonder about what I'm eating and what I'm serving my family. You guys can totally do this and watch what a difference it makes.